After the hour, let's change gears. A shocking new report from the Institute for Science and International Security warns the current threat from Iran has risen to extreme danger. And it comes a day before the Trump administration holds direct talks with their adversary for the last 4 years. The warning explains, quote, major negative factors include Iran's greater nuclear weapons capabilities. It's a shorter time frame to build nuclear weapons and the growing normalization of internal Iranian discussions favoring building nuclear weapons. In fact, in 1 month, they're going to have 10. In 2 months, they're going to have 12 to 13. In 3 months, 15 weapons. Let's bring in retired four-star general, Fox News senior strategic analyst, chairman of the Institute for Study of War, General Jack Keane. General, does this study change your perspective on the time frame Iran needs to build a nuclear weapon?
No, I don't think we're surprised by the study. I mean, the reality is, and certainly the administration has classified information that certainly would complement that study, if not go further with it. So they have the facts. But let's face it, what's happening here? Iran has become somewhat defenseless. No longer do they have Hezbollah and Hamas to the degree they did. They don't have Syria as their strategic platform. Their air defense systems have been destroyed by Israel. Much of their rockets and missiles destroyed by Israel as well. And Iran has been deterred. They have not reattacked, even though they promised they would. So they're in a very difficult situation, to say the least. And that brings up the way they want to preserve their regime. The reason they've always wanted that weapon is for that reason. And now they need it more than ever. So we shouldn't be surprised that they're moving closer to it. But going into these negotiations, Brian, we couldn't be further apart. The president has issued an ultimatum to the supreme leader. Voluntarily dismantle your program through negotiations. Let's do inspections anywhere, anytime to verify that, and let's do it by a date certain. They're not even going to admit in these negotiations that they have a nuclear weapons program. And they're going to want to preserve that program as much as possible. They're masters at this negotiation stuff. 2 years prior to that lousy nuclear deal in 2015, they participated in these negotiations. One of the objectives the Iranians are going to have here is much like what the Russians are doing over Ukraine, is to delay, and stall, and buy time for their weapons development program. So that's a fait accompli. They already have the weapons, and then we have to deal with them like we would deal with North Korea.
General, there's no way that Benjamin Netanyahu rushed over here to worry about a trade deal with the U.S. You know all this thing from getting the hostages out to what's happening in Gaza and Iran. You know what Israel did to the Iraq in 1980, took it out. You know they took out Syria's nuclear program themselves, even though they wanted George W. Bush to do it. You know they're not going to sit on the sidelines here. So there is a clock. There's a clock ticking on Iran this time. We should use that. Steve Witkoff should use that.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. We have a huge amount of leverage here because of the position that Iran is in that I just mentioned. The only thing that is helping Iran right now is China is going full blast to bail Iran out. From February to March, they increased oil purchases from Iran 80%. So now 90% of Iran's oil exports are being bought by China. And that is to keep the Iran economy afloat, despite the sanctions that the Trump administration is imposing on them. That is the one lever that they have, and certainly China and the tariff war with the United States is not going to resolve that. They're going to continue to get Chinese money buying their oil in the future. But nonetheless, we still go into these talks with huge amount of leverage to get what we want out of it. And you're absolutely right. The clock is ticking here. And I think not just for Prime Minister Netanyahu, but also for President Trump. He has issued an ultimatum. He wants it by a date certain. He's not going to wait forever. That's the reality of it. And I believe Witkoff and company certainly have to have the ability to look people in the eye and convince them of that reality.
And we have an aircraft carrier in the region. We have the bombs to go through those bunkers and tear up that nuclear program. The question is, do we do it or do they do it? And if they're not cooperative on Saturday, that'll make the president's decision a lot easier. General, thanks so much.